Assalamualaikum and good day to you all. Today we going to talk about one of the most important topics of our generation and currently happening right now. It is climate change. First, I'm going to talk about myself and my friends that are going to be presenting this video. My name is Simio Muhammad Hajib and my other presenters that will be going to present after me. Humans' activity are one of the most important factors toward climate change, and it currently rapidly happening. This is the graph of temperature from 1880 to 2022. It is such a shock that how much our temperature changed from such a short period of time. The once stable climate now experiences extreme impact ecosystem, agriculture, and the very fabric of life as we know it. Now let's take a look of the consequences of our action. River rate across the globe. Glaciers are receding, sea level are rising, and ecosystems are struggling to adapt. Extreme weather events, once rare, now our punctuate daily life. Our oceans, once a buffer against climate change, are now absorbing excess carbon dioxide, leading to ocean acidification with profound effect on marine life. This is not a joke or a theory. It is happening to us right now as we speak, and too many places has been affected by this climate change. I'm going to pass myself to my friends after this.
What caused climate change? Climate change is a complex phenomenon influenced by various natural and human-induced factors. The well-known cause of climate change is the greenhouse gas emission. Right now, atmospheric concentration of greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide are the highest they have been in the last 800,000 years. We will review one by one how are these gases released into the air. For carbon dioxide, the burning of fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and natural gas for energy is the major source of carbon dioxide emission. For methane, the gas is released during the production and transport of the coal, oil, and natural gas. And for nitrous oxide, agricultural and industrial activities may contribute to the gas emission. The next cause is deforestation. Trees act as carbon dioxide sinks by absorbing carbon dioxide during photosynthesis. Deforestation reduces the number of trees, decreasing the planet's capacity to absorb carbon dioxide. And the last one is transportation. The cars, trucks, ships, and planes that we use to transport ourselves and our goods are a major source of global greenhouse gas emissions. Burning petroleum-based fuel in combustion engines releases massive amount of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, and trucks are by far the worst polluters on the road.
Hello, I am Siti Fatia binti Muhammad and I will talk about the effect of the climate change toward marine biodiversity. Warming happens when the ocean takes up too much heat from greenhouse gas emission. Water species and ecosystems have been impacted by this rise in the water temperature, leading to coral bleaching and the loss of marine fish and animal breeding habitat. The benefit that humans receive from the sea have been also compromised, as seen by the dangers it poses to food security, rise in illness rate, and the increase in extreme weather events, and the loss of the coastal protection. Sea level rise and a decrease in the amount of dissolved oxygen in the ocean are caused by deoxygenation, which is a result of ocean warming. as well as the outcome of the continental ice melting and seawater's thermal expansion. Climate change has an impact on marine life and ecosystem, especially when combined with ocean acidification, which lowers ocean pH as a result of carbon dioxide absorption. Lying area and island are at the risk of flooding due to the melting of the polar ice cap brought on by the sea level rise. Arctic ice integrity is being threatened by the climate change. Arctic sea ice is melting at the starting rate due to rising global temperature. The recording first started in the late 1970s. The amount of Arctic sea ice has dropped by roughly 30% every decade, according to NOAA Climate.gov. Consequently, it has had an impact on the local wildlife, including the seals, sea lion, and the polar bear. Rising temperature pose a serious danger to a seabird and marine mammals in addition to marine fish. These concerns include the high mortality rate, the loss of breeding site, and the mass migration as a species search for a more hospitable environment. Rising temperature have an impact on the coral reef as well, increasing the danger of coral bleaching and death. Elevated sea surface temperatures resulted in stronger hurricanes and a surge in the El Nino occurrence, which caused drought and flooding. In some parts of the world, this may be major socio-economic and health repercussions of this. Increased frequency of a drought and a stronger storm are predicted as a result of a rising global surface temperature. This occurs because increased atmospheric evaporation of water vapor provides fuel for the development of stronger storms. In a tropical storm, higher air temperature and rising sea surface temperature can cause wind speed to rise. Next one is ocean acidification. Ocean acidification is the chemical reaction that takes place between ingested carbon dioxide and seawater. The pH, carbonate ion concentration, and saturation condition for physiological significant calcium carbonate mineral in seawater have all decreased as a result of this interaction. As is acknowledged, calcium carbonate minerals are necessary for the skeleton and shell of a marine mollusk. Many oceans that were formerly recognized for having saturated level of the calcium carbonate mineral have become less saturated as a result of ocean acidification. That will probably have an impact on the organism's capacity to create and maintain a robust shell that fit in environmental requirements. Mollusks are also impacted in addition to coral reef because the excessive rise in the carbon dioxide in seawater brought on by ocean acidification, which make it harder for coral reef to develop and scavenge.
Climate change is mostly caused by carbon emissions from human activities. Mitigating global warming will allow marine organisms to remain in their natural habitats and conserve marine biodiversity. Reducing carbon emissions is the first step towards minimizing the effects of climate change. We as a society can contribute to the mitigation of climate change by adopting practices that reduce carbon emissions, such as making sustainable choices every time we have to go somewhere. Walking, biking, carpooling, and public transportation are all good alternatives to reduce petroleum consumption when feasible. Also, pick up fuel-efficient vehicle when purchasing. Another way to aid is to choose renewable energy sources and use energy-efficient appliances. Using solar or wind energy to power your home is an effective way to mitigate climate change, although it can be costly. If this is not a feasible option, replacing your gas stove with an electric one, unplugging electronic devices when not in use, switching your light bulbs to LEDs, and washing your clothes in cold water are small ways to help. Moreover, cutting the use of paper and electricity on a daily basis is also important to save trees and energy. According to the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, animal-based foods, particularly red meat and dairy, are generally associated with the highest greenhouse gas emissions. This is because meat production often requires vast grasslands, which are often created by cutting down trees, releasing carbon dioxide stored in forests. Thus, cutting down red meat consumption or use dairy alternatives are a great way to mitigate this impact. Not only do small actions like this add up, social scientists have discovered that when an individual makes a sustainability-oriented decision, others do as well. However, climate change will not be solved by individual habits alone. Broad policy solutions from governments, non-profits, and industry around the world are also required.
Climate change poses a significant threat to our planet's delicate ecosystem, particularly our marine environments. Rising sea levels, ocean acidification, and increased water temperature are just a few of the consequences we are currently facing. Recognizing the urgency of this issue, governments worldwide have implemented various measures to combat climate change and protect marine biodiversity. One such action is the establishment of Marine Protected Area, also known as MPAs. MPAs are designated regions where human activity is regulated to minimize harm to marine ecosystem. These areas serve as sanctuaries for marine life, allowing for the recovery and preservation of biodiversity. Additionally, governments have been investing in renewable energy sources, such as wind and solar power. By transitioning away from fossil fuels, we can reduce greenhouse gas emission and slow down the rate of climate change. Furthermore, international agreements like the Paris Agreement have been instrumental in fostering global cooperation to address climate change. Through this agreement, governments commit to reducing their carbon emissions and working towards a sustainable future. Education and awareness campaigns are also vital components of government action. By educating the public about the importance of marine biodiversity and the impact of climate change, we can encourage individuals to make environmentally conscious choices in their daily life. In conclusion, governments play a crucial role in reducing the effects of climate change on marine biodiversity. Through the establishment of marine protected areas, investment in renewable energy, international agreements, and education campaigns, we can work together to protect our oceans and ensure a sustainable future for generations to come.